This week, the Office of the Legislative Auditor released a damning report finding state employees fabricating records to cover up mismanagement of money, tax money. It's another black eye for the State Department of Human Services. And Lou Raguse is covering it and sat down with the legislative auditor.
This was definitely the most egregious thing I have seen. Maybe in my whole time working at OLA.
After 27 years with the Office of the Legislative Auditor, a statement like that from Judy Randall means something. After past suspicions, she says her most recent audit proved state workers were fabricating documents to cover up mismanagement of taxpayer money.
So these documents should exist. They didn't. We asked for them. All of a sudden, they now exist. And in at least one case, it was created wholesale and backdated by 2 years to give the impression that it had always been there and been done on time.
The OLA audited the Behavioral Health Administration within the Department of Human Services, which issues grants, nearly $200 million of taxpayer money each year, to addiction and mental health service providers. But the audit found BHA was not making sure those providers were doing the work.
BHA didn't conduct the site visits. Our auditors went and conducted the site visits that BHA should have done, and we identified serious concerns that services weren't being provided.
One of the grants examined by OLA was $1.6 million issued to the Wellness Collaborative through Zion Baptist Church in North Minneapolis. According to the OLA report, BHA didn't have documentation to give auditors to show that the services were rendered. What's more, the audit says the grant manager directly profited by leaving BHA and months later providing consulting services to the Wellness Collaborative for the grant she managed, which Randall says is not illegal.
But I think it raises a bunch of ethical questions at the very least.
Representatives at Zion strongly dispute what BHA and DHS told the auditors. They tell KARE 11 DHS sought them out for the grant. They provided services which DHS workers witnessed. They gave DHS documentation, and they say now they believe they're being scapegoated. The former grant manager told KARE 11 any wrongdoing falls squarely on DHS.
Conduct a monitoring visit to make sure the services are actually being provided. These aren't rocket science types of things.
Randall says the audit found fewer than 1 in 5 DHS workers they surveyed felt adequately trained to scrutinize how the grant money is spent. And perhaps most frustrating, this was the second audit of the Behavioral Health Administration, and many of the problems found were repeat problems.
What is it like to see these problems, make these recommendations, and nothing is done to fix it?
It's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Governor Tim Walz's office says they're grateful for the auditor for her work and for identifying these serious issues. And Democratic Senator Melissa Wickland, who chairs the Health and Human Services Committee, says that it's clear that DHS has not taken actions to fix these problems as they had portrayed to the senator.
Okay, so it's the second failed audit, and that's what we're getting from Democratic leadership. Is there going to be accountability this time?
Well, the DHS temporary commissioner, Shireen Gandhi, says that she was shocked, especially by those allegations of the records being created to cover it up. She says that they are in the process of, since the audit was performed, fixing some of the things that still hadn't been fixed. I think there's going to be a lot of questions from legislators for oversight to make sure that it actually happens this time around.
Right, and then what the organizational structure needs to be within DHS to make sure this stops. Because again, you're saying this is the second time and you've reported on so much fraud, and usually it all kind of comes back to DHS.
And besides just the oversight and the management in DHS, one thing that Judy Randall told me is that it seemed that the employees that were tasked with oversight of the grants were more on the side of they wanted to provide the services and provide the help. They didn't have that mindset or the training to double check the work to make sure it's being done and basically audit it the way that the auditors audit it.
All right, thanks so much, Lou. We'll be right back.